Friday, Q&A. Fanmail! Lovely. We have some stuff. No news, no event news yet. There will be eventually, someday, probably. That's just some questions. Nthump. A question for Minicap. Where did you get the pink pants? I believe they were custom made. Custom ordered, yes. Very, very chic. I have been meaning to get this whole outfit put together so I can cosplay as Minicap. I looked into pink camo or pink cargo pants. I found like sweatpants, which wasn't a bad option, but it wasn't what I was quite looking for. You can definitely get it in pink camo, which is the same camo pattern as the orange that I have from the same place. They've got like a dozen different colors, but that wouldn't be quite the same. I think the hardest part is actually going to be the pouches. I'm probably going to have to custom make those. The mask should be fairly simple, but yeah, custom made. Alex Price, have you heard the songs Fiddler on the Deck and Shiver My Timber? And which do you like better? So I had to look up Fiddler on the Deck. I hadn't heard that one, but I was familiar with Shiver My Timbers from the Muppet Treasure Island, and I honestly prefer Shiver My Timbers. I think it's a really good shanty. So, plus I love the movie. It's from my childhood. Huntress236. Have you ever watched the Stargate SG-1 series? I haven't seen all of it. I can't remember how far I got. A friend had the entire series on DVD, and I was borrowing it from them, and then I moved, and I don't think I ever returned the season that I have. I should look into that. But I never quite finished it. Follow-up question. If so, have you ever thought of building a Nerf Jaffa staff weapon? I haven't, but I know that it's already been done. I've actually seen it at an event, and it's super cool. If you search Nerf staff weapon, there's a YouTube video on how he built it. It's basically essentially like an out of darts hurricane where it's just a PVC pipe with a blower at one end, flywheels at the other, and rounds in the tube. But they've done a beautiful job of making it actually look like a staff weapon. They've 3D printed the barrel and the rear, and the trigger is in fact in the middle where it should be. Super, super cool. Excellent build. I think I saw it at an HVZ once. Imperial Bricks. What is your favorite combat class? For me, heavy infantry. Because I'm old and slow, I got bad knees and a bad back, I don't run well anymore, so I prefer to just have an obscene amount of firepower and plod through the battlefield at a tactical mosey. Nathan Talesian, for Christmas food, what is your preferences for snacks, main course, side dishes, and desserts? So for snacks, my favorite Christmas snack are turtles that my mother makes. They're made from an almond bark, chocolate, caramel, and then pecans. And she's been making them for as long as I can remember, and they are a wonderful Christmas tradition. I look forward to them every year. For main course, I'm a turkey guy. Give me turkey, a good juicy turkey with gravy. Though, for my family, we typically did a variety. So we'd have turkey, ham, usually crab, and then whatever my ravenous tigress had shot that year. So usually deer. So we usually had some venison. And the variety is what makes it the best. Side dishes, mashed potatoes, and croissants. Croissant. Gotta have croissants. That's one of my musts. And then for dessert, cheesecake. Cheesecake, all the way cheesecake. I'm a cheesecake guy. Gotta have me some cheesecake. Another question for Swamp Cat. Mew 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 meow mew meow meow murmur gurmur mew meow mew mew meow mew mew meow mew meow. Swamp Cat says that your accent is atrocious and your grammar is childish. She's also not here, unfortunately. She did not want to come out to the shop. It is cold and damp, and she would have none of it. She wanted to stay in the house where it's warm and dry, and I can't blame her. Paul Turk. Have you ever been shot in the eye? I have. The only time I can remember, because I'm generally pretty good at eye pro, was the finale at Afterworlds this year. The final stand was in the dark. We were just flinging Rival into the dark indiscriminately, and somebody popped around the corner and unloaded at me with Rival and got me in the eye. Didn't hurt. wasn't a problem. I got right back up. Just that initial shock of, oh god, in the eye, and everyone was like, oh no, they've killed the captain. Well, I'm fine. I'm good. We're golden. Couldn't have iPro there because it was dark. I would not have been able to see anything at all, and it would have been dangerous. Luckily, it was low FPS game, so like I said, it didn't hurt. It was a stock Rival Blaster. I was fine. But yeah, I have been shot in the eye. But wear your iPro, kids. Duan Greywinds. How are you liking the X-Shot long shot? I like it, but I haven't run it enough to really have a good feel for it. I think I ran it once, and it ran beautifully, but I haven't run it since I modified it. I've got one that's been upgraded to having, like, I think it's like 230, 260, something like that. Drain? I've got another one still in box that is unmodified. Only thing I plan to modify on it is the putting in a metal plunger tube, because the stock plunger tube is already cracked. The one thing I don't like about it, it feels like a $30 blaster. It has the power of a much, much more expensive blaster, but it's a much cheaper plastic. It's X-Shot plastic. There's a reason it's 30 bucks, despite the fact that for another 25 bucks you can get it to hit 260 FPS. It still feels like a $30 blaster, and I don't know how long it will last, but then I've never had an X-Shot blaster actually break on me, but I don't use them very often, so I don't have much insight for you, unfortunately. John Riverstone. What is the best place online to find mint condition blasters cheap? Honestly, if you want mint condition, you're going to need to shop on Amazon or Walmart and wait for a sale. Wait for something to go on clearance, wait for Black Friday, for Christmas, for whatever. They do sales quite often. You just got to be ready for them. They usually go on clearance just before they are retired. So that's where you can get, we got Strice for super cheap. You can get Percy's super cheap every once in a while. There's a lot of the Pro Blasters were really cheap at Black Friday and Cyber Monday. Other than that, you're going to have to look in places like eBay, OfferUp, Craigslist, Marketplace, and actually go and look at the blaster and see if it's a good enough condition for you. And, sometimes you get good stuff, sometimes you don't. I wouldn't recommend thrifting. That's generally where the used stuff ends up. Though every once in a while, stuff ends up there that's in really good condition. It's just a lot less common. If you really want mint condition, you're going to have to order it from a retailer, but wait for a sale if you want it cheap. Haha! Oh, missed completely. Keith Bebs. What sniper blaster would you recommend to go with? So I will recommend anything by Worker, whether it's the Swift, the Harrier, or the Seagull, and that really kind of depends on how much power you want and what form factor, whether you want big or small. I like a big beefy blaster, but for CQB stuff where you're going to be in and out of cover a lot, the small form factor is really nice. The Unicorn is also great, and I like all of those because they are injection molded and are a really solid, heavy plastic. And they're very adjustable. They've got different barrels, different springs, different scar barrels you can put on them. You can tune those in fairly well to a given FPS. Pretty much anything in the Dart Zone Pro line is also pretty solid. The Mark IV is a fabulous blaster. Mostly it's going to come down to preference in form factor and what FPS and what budget. There are cheaper options. The X-Shot long shot if you want really cheap. Dart Zone or Worker if you want something a little bit more expensive and a little bit more robust. So, yeah. Bannock Artem. Where do you store your lipos? So I store my lipos in my armory, in lipo cases, fire-resistant lipo cases, or an old ammo can. And they're on a metal shelf on top of my M4 bazooka rack, which is also metal. So even if they were to pop off, which I've never had a lipo pop off, they shouldn't burn my shop down. I would hope. But you can never be too careful. No Miu. Did your mama let you play with Nerf guns as a child? I don't know if let is the right word. She certainly didn't stop me that I was aware of. I had toy guns and I had toy projectiles. I didn't have a lot of actual Nerf because I wasn't asking for it. I wanted Lego. By the time Nerf was, even getting to the point that there was stuff worth getting, that wasn't what I was after. I wanted Nerf. I wanted Lego. For birthday, for Christmas, for gifts, for my allowance money, I bought Lego. That was what I was after. And still am. I still do spend a lot of... I got Lego in my pocket right now. Pretty sure there's Lego in this package. Life is good. But I'm sure if I'd asked, she wouldn't have had a problem with it. At least not that I'm aware of. You would know, wouldn't you? Timothy Helm. What is your favorite root beer? Sprecher. Sprecher is my favorite. I've been asked this a lot, and I have no problem answering it every time because I want people to know I like Sprecher, and if they see it, bring me some. Because it's not common around here. It's from Wisconsin. Though apparently you can get it on Amazon. We'll actually be discussing that a little bit later. And it showed up at Dollar Tree for $1.25 a bottle, and I bought a lot of it. And I'm pacing myself so it will last for as long as possible. But Sprecher is my favorite. Imagine, what is your view as far as Milsim Nerf? So, Milsim Nerf is fine in the right place. So there's places where it's cool and there's places where it's not. If you're going to just a casual public Nerf war, like what we hold at Fort Borst, it's not a good place for it. I used to when I would play at Borst, when I wasn't running Borst, I would take one round each game and I would go full captain and organize my team into squads and give them objectives and tell them what I wanted done and have someone in command and all of that. And I quit doing that because whenever we would do that, we would win by such an absolutely ridiculous degree that it wasn't fun for anybody. You know, when you're playing like Carpe, where you're trying to gather the MacGuffins, usually it would be, 42 to 36 or 55 to 47. When I organized it, it was 85 to 5. And that isn't fun. I mean, the other team was getting very disgruntled, just getting completely wrecked, and we weren't really having much fun either. So that is where it doesn't belong. Somewhere like an HVZ, it can work, but you need to gauge the event, because some events really don't like it. It's also, you can imbalance an HVZ if you're organized enough, and the balance on a one-day HVZ is precarious enough that you have to be careful about it. That's why usually we'll play for a while that way, and then we'll go find a nice hill to die on. And I have had mods come to me and say, hey, can you tone it down? And, absolutely we did. And there have been events where, like, I'm just not going to do it at all at this event because I know the people that run it aren't a fan of the Milsim side, and it's their event. So you don't do it at their event. Whereas if they come to your event and complain about the Milsim nature, it's your event. If they don't like it, they don't have to come. LARPs are a place where it absolutely works. It's for all, do it. It will help. It'll be good. That's what those are for. And if you're running your own event and you want it to be competitive Milsim, you want to be really get into it, and you want people to make teams and organize it, it's perfectly fine. But again, it depends on where you're playing it. There's places where it's appropriate and places where it isn't, and that can be frustrating. And sometimes you're like, yeah, but I really want to, and you're like, yeah, but don't, because there are other people here and you don't want to ruin the fun for them. So just keep that in mind. More fun for everyone. Sometimes it can help. Sometimes it can be a detraction. Listen to the room. Jaeger collects. Do you have a nail clipper designed by Lidl Dynamics? And if not, would you want one if you are attending FoamFest? I would love one. I never say no to free stuff. If that's what this is an offer for. I've heard of it. It wasn't one that I saw it and went, I must have it, and went out and immediately ordered it, but it was one that I recall thinking, that's pretty cool. So if one were to, be handed to me when I went to FoamFest, which I'm not sure I'm going to this year, I don't know what my travel budget's going to be this year. I definitely overdid it last year, so I might have to go to fewer events. And there's a couple that are just like, I absolutely am going to these events. Okay, what other ones am I going to go to? And FoamFest is by far the most expensive event that I would be going to. So we will see. We will see. Kenny Snap. What is your favorite vintage blaster? Blitzfire. I think it's called the Blitzfire. It was an air-powered, pump-in-the-handle, 5-shot shotgun blaster. There hasn't really been anything quite like it since. It was a fabulous blaster. At one point, I put a solenoid in one and turned it into a remote detonatable landmine, and it actually worked fairly well. I could definitely make it work so much better now that I have Lipos, because I didn't have a Lipo back then, and issues. There's a bunch of old stuff I should retry now that I've got better technology. Yeah, Blitzfire. From like 99? Maybe 2000? Might be 99. And finally, Thun Kush. What 14 creators that you know would be a different character from the company of Thorin Oakenshield? Oh, that is a fantastic question, but I would need to do research to figure it out. Quite frankly, I don't know how many people are going to be at Nerf's Giving this on Saturday. Silver Fox Industries is hosting Nerf Giving, and pretty much all of the big names from the Pacific Northwest attend that. I don't know if there will be 14, but if there's 14 there, just them. Because it's going to be myself, Out of Darts, Walcom, Dr. Flux, Luchathor, Silver Fox. Who knows who else will be there. Al the Geek would have to be in there somewhere, probably. Again, I'd have to remember. I don't remember which dwarves are which anymore. I haven't seen the movie or read the book in forever. I think Brett would be either Feely or Keely, because he got no beard. Yeah, no, I'd have to really think about that. That is a great question. You guys in the comments, let's get your 14, your party. Because I can think of a couple, but none are just like, absolutely, this person will be this one. I don't remember the dwarves having as much personality in the book as they did in the movie. Anyway. Ha-ha! I hit! I got him! Alright, I actually do have a couple of Picage. I think, pretty sure this one is a review, but that's useful. A couple of other good stuff. Got a letter. And we're going to get to it after these potential messages. This time I might actually remember to put in the ad. I didn't last time, I just couldn't be bothered. Alright, we'll start with the letter. This is from Rob Healy, who is new to the hobby and posted locally on the Panic server, like, hey, we're looking to get into the hobby, can anyone give us the rundown, tell us what it's about? And I said, hey, if you're free Sunday, come up to my workshop. So their very first introduction to the Nerf hobby was all of this. Here's what they had to say about that. I think it's easy to miss the impact we have on others when we do a good deed, so I want to send my gratitude in a more lasting manner. I appreciate so much that you opened your home and shared your knowledge with a couple of us random goofballs from the internet. Neither Ben nor I realized what a central figure you are in the foam blaster community. How central I am, I'm more fringe. And to be able to just roll up and spend a few hours using your space, equipment, and experience is really special. Thank you for being such a great ambassador for the hobby. After our games with you, Ben and I became thoroughly hooked. We're already started some robust blaster collections by beginner standards, and are trying to link up with some other folks for the off-season skirmishes. Lastly, I want to say that I've spent my whole life in education, primarily in educating, outfitting, and supporting young people as they get into some very challenging outdoor pursuits. I've spent decades helping others to try new, intimidating, exhilarating things, and all that time, at least in recent memory, you're the first person to do it for me. It was really nice to be invited into a community to receive such a lived wisdom, and even leaving with a couple of blasters to boot. It may not be a big deal to you, but it was for me. Thank you again, and if there's any way I can return the favor in the future, please let me know. Organizing groups, building community, and supporting people trying new things is very much my speciality, and I would love to pay this forward. Until we meet in the field of battle, or over a root beer, please be well and know you are appreciated and have a positive impact. Thank you, and please feel free to reach out anytime, Rob Healy. Letters like this are why I continue doing what I do. I really, really appreciate it. It is nice to hear. I built the makerspace so that I could do things like that, so that I could bring people in and help them learn to mod and appreciate the hobby. It's why I help run Borst. It's why I like to travel to as many HVZs, and especially smaller, less well-known HVZs, because it tends to bring more people to it. Things like Mall Madness, GCCs, HVZs. I've been invited to a few that I really want to attend. And being able to, to bring people here, because I would have liked to have had that when I got into the hobby. And I kind of ended up I did to a degree, because when I moved out here, I became friends with Walcom, and he helped me get started. And I wasn't as appreciative, apparently, as he felt I should have been, and in many ways I agree. And so I try to do that kind of outreach because I can. I've got the time, I've got the resources, I've got the space, and I feel I should try to use it for the best. You definitely can help, because we would love to get more stuff going on down in the Portland area. The majority of it is still kind of further north. We have a decent community. I've got a number of friends down in the Portland area, but they haven't found a good venue or really gotten their own thing going. We're rapidly approaching the point where Borst isn't going to be big enough, and so we're going to need to host multiple events to hopefully split people off where they have to choose which event they go to, and so we don't have everyone showing up at the same one. Or we're going to have to start asking people, please attend this event instead of that event, we're running out of room. So there's definitely a lot that you can do, and I appreciate the offer. Stay on the panic board. If you're doing stuff, feel free to announce it there. Reach out to me, reach out to Lance, reach out to the other moderators. There's also a Discord. Obviously, join the World Foam Alliance, because that's what the World Foam Alliance is all about, bringing people into the hobby and helping them get started. So we can definitely help with things like the moderator box that I bring to events that has all the stuff you need to run games. We can help you assemble one of those if you want to start running your own events. Just, the team flags and MacGuffins and stopwatches and mod vests and stuff like that. It's just good to have a box so that you can just toss in your car and go run an event anywhere. I've done that a couple of times where, somebody said, hey, I'm doing a birthday, would you come? And you're like, you're 20 minutes from me, sure. Throw a bin of blasters in the car, throw my mod box in, and go run an event. It can be done. It's really cool. So you are welcome. You are always welcome here. The Makerspace, I built it to be available to anybody. I don't charge people to come here. That's all covered mostly through Patreon and YouTube, so I don't feel the need to try to make a profit off of it. Yeah, thank you for the letter. I really, really appreciate it. All right, let's see what Andy Verk has sent me from Australia. I think it's Australia. Maybe it's New Zealand. I should check. Western Australia. Yeah. A note! Even says it. To Captain X, the great bearded summoner of bulk good transport. 14th Dawn, orange and black belt of foam flinging, assistant to the High Lord Feline of swampy ground, in a place that may soon erupt into civil war. Good day, Captain X. How's it going over there? I'm writing to you from a sitting position as I get dizzy when I stand, as discussed in my Get Off My Lawn. Please find this note to the painted and weathered rails to go on the Valkyrie I sent you recently. On the subject, just to clarify, while the kit itself is available from Demic in the US, Rainbow Mods and Props in Europe, and myself in Oceania, I'm the designer of it. The demand for the kit has been such that combined we have 0 sales. A number that I'm very proud of, but then I also use hard cheese as an eraser. How well does that work? Can you erase pencil with Parmesan? It was fun to have the chat online while you, and amazing to see Al smile without appearing too deranged. Looking forward to our next encounter, and please give Show Me the Modded Thing a plug every now and then when you remember your friend Andy Work. Yes, so for those of you that may remember, I used to do Friday fan builds. And for a variety of reasons, I just couldn't keep doing it anymore. And Andy Work was willing to take it over. And on his channel on YouTube, it's called Show Me the Modded Thing. And it's a fabulous series. You should definitely go watch it. And somebody buy one of their kits. It's a cool kit. I did a review on it. It's fabulous. And now I have weathered rails to go with it. Because mine was lacking the rails, apparently. And then when I reviewed the video, it's like, oh no! The rails are missing. Presumably they got taken off during the painting and then didn't get put back on. Tools. Tools are needed here. Very nice, very nice. You'll be happy to know they seem to have arrived unscathed. Oh, very good. It's got the little tabs. Excellent. I will get it installed, and I still need to get it modded, and then I will definitely feature it in, like, Range Day soon. And I'll give you some more shout-outs. So definitely, go forth, watch the modded thing on Andy Verk's channel. And thank you for sending me these. The blaster was definitely missing them. Right, I'm gonna take a look at this. I'm pretty sure it's just something that I've been sent for review. And I happen to need it because my workspace here is currently a mess as I am painting a blaster I was sent. And it definitely needs what I suspect is in here, which, if I can get it out! Yes, it is an optic. And that blaster definitely wants for an optic. So you'll get to see that reviewed as well as the thing that I'm going to be putting it on probably sometime next week. Stay tuned. Right, the final package. Sounds of Happiness. Pretty sure it is from the inestimable Sparky Santos. Oh, it's the Microfighter Boba Fett. Awesome. Such a good fig. Great fig in that one. Oh, and the Microfig Mandalorian. The Microfighter, which I don't believe I had. Another fabulous print. Fig. And that's what we've got. Lovely. Most excellent. So I'll get to... I think I've already built this one on my LEGO channel. I'll definitely have to build this one, though, and then compare the figs and whatnot. This is a really cool build. Very, very cool. So, there you have it. If you want to ask a question for Q&A, you put it in the comments of this video. That's where I draw the next one from, is from the previous video. If you want to mail me something, by all means. You want to send me a letter. I appreciate letters. I really like getting letters. I also like getting free stuff, but no obligation there. Mailing address is down in the description. So, there you have it. I'm going to go work on stuff. Thank you for watching.